Next we have 3 examples, so let's see them. Again we are going to solve inequalities, linear inequalities having 2 variables graphically. So in this one, that inequality is 3x plus 2y greater than 6. So I start the solution like this. The straight line 3x plus 2y equal to 6 divides the plane into 2 half planes, 1 and 2, as shown in the following figure. Now there are some things that you should note here. Note that I am calling this itself a straight line. Strictly speaking, that is not true. This is not a geometric line. This is an algebraic equation, but it has an associated straight line with it. I am talking about that straight line. So in that sense, I am calling it a straight line. And we already know that this is what we have to consider in such a situation from theory. And this, of course, divides the two-dimensional plane into 2 half planes, the upper half plane and the lower half plane. There is no need to again write those things, that this is the upper half plane, that is the lower half plane. That will be clear from the figure. Now, how do you draw this straight line? That's easy. You just locate any 2 distinct points on the straight line, and that will they will determine the straight line. It's very easy to find these 2 points. These 2 points means you take x equal to 0 and then solve for y. Y has to then be 3. So 0, 3 is 1 point on the straight line. And then you put y equal to 0 and solve for x. So x has to be 2. So that way you get another point 2, 0. They determine this straight line. So the upper half plane we are calling it 2, and the lower half plane we are calling it 1. Now we have to decide which one of these 2 planes represents the solution set of the given inequality, because from theory we know that exactly one of them will be the solution set. So next we have to pick any arbitrary point from any one of these 2 half planes, substitute the coordinates of that point in the inequality and see if it is satisfied or not. As we already noted before, it is very easy to choose the origin, its coordinates, which are of course 0 and 0. So substituting the coordinates of the origin in the inequality, we see that we are getting 0 greater than 6, which obviously is not true. That means half plane 1 is not the solution set. That means it has to be the other one, half plane 2. So accordingly we write, so half plane 1 is not the solution set, it's half plane 2. And that's it. So you see that this is very easy. So what does this mean? What does it actually mean for half plane 2 to be the solution set of that inequality? It means that if you arbitrarily choose any point from half plane 2, then you have its x and y coordinates, you put those values here, this inequality will be satisfied. But if you, for example, choose any point from the line itself and substitute its coordinates in place of x and y, obviously you are not going to get this inequality. Instead, you will get equal to 6. You will get equality. So that means these points on the line also are not solutions. The ones above the line are solutions. In what sense? That their coordinates are solutions. The points on the line are not solutions because they give us equality. And if you choose any point from below this line, that means from half plane 1, then also this inequality will not be satisfied. Actually, for those points, if you substitute x and y coordinates, you will get 3x plus 2y less than 6. So in that sense, this is the solution set of this inequality. Next we have this example. Solve the inequality 3x minus 6 greater than or equal to 0 graphically in the plane. You see this phrase, in the plane. Looking at the inequality, you see that there is no y. So if we want, we can solve it our old way. That means how we solved linear inequalities in the previous section, where the inequalities had only one variable. But this phrase in the plane tells us to also consider y, although y is not explicitly present in this equation. In a sense, it's present with zero coefficient. So anyway, let's see the solution. So this is how we write the solution. The given inequality, of course, is equivalent to this. I mean, how you normally solve this inequality, if you go through that process, this is how you ultimately get that x is greater than or equal to 2. Now the question is this, what does it mean in the plane? In the plane means you have to actually consider not just the real number x, but the two-dimensional point having coordinates x, y, x and y. So what does that mean? It means that you have to interpret this inequality in the plane as you did the previous one. What was that? 3x plus 2y I think is greater than 6. That one. So here also you imagine x plus 0 times y is greater than or equal to 2. What will you do then? I mean, if you go through that previous process, you have to consider the equation x plus 0 times y equal to 2 or x equal to 2 and think of its graph. That is again a straight line, but this time it's the vertical straight line, this straight line, passing through the point 2, 0. That is because the graph of the equation x equal to 2 consists of those points where the x coordinate is constantly 2. The y coordinate can be anything because this, I mean not this one, but the equation x equal to 2 does not restrict y in any way. So they form this straight line because on this straight line all the points have their x coordinate constantly 2. Y coordinate can be anything. So it is this vertical line. And we are thinking of the inequality x greater than or equal to 2. That means we also want those points whose x coordinates are greater than 2. That is why next we write like this. The solution set of this inequality, this one or this one, same thing. In the plane, you mention this phrase, okay, in the plane consists of all points on and to the right of the vertical line x equal to 2. That means all these points and all these points. That is the solution set. The next example is also similar, but this time we have this inequality y less than 2. This also we have to solve graphically in the plane. So in the solution this time I won't write anything. I will just show you the graph. So the given inequality is y less than 2. Now what is it that you have to do? You have to first turn it into an equality. That means y equal to 2 and then think of its graph. The graph of this equation consists of those points in the plane which have all their y coordinates constantly equal to 2. That means all of them are at a height 2 units from the x-axis. That means all these points, they form this horizontal line. Previously we had a vertical line, this time we have a horizontal line. And we want the solutions to this inequality. That means it will consist of those points in the plane which have their y coordinates less than 2. That means all those points which lie directly below this line, not also on the line, not above the line, below the line. So the solution set in this case is the lower half plane determined by the straight line y equal to 2. That's it.